For TikTok, sorry, just a second. So for TikTok, you have to, it's very similar to Facebook Business Manager. If you're familiar with that, I assume most people are if they're attending this. And with TikTok, you have to create an account. Um, I'm gonna just start with like a very basic level of the ads that they run, just to sort of give background on their platform. It's fairly new. You can just go to like ads.tiktok.com and sign up for an account. We have an account here that I just created to sort of show everybody what it looks like. It's a very simple dashboard. A lot of this is very similar to Facebook and any of the other ads platforms that you've used, with a few different things. Obviously, the platform's different. The way that the pixels are set up is a little bit easier, in my opinion, especially the integration with Google Tag Manager. And then also the different types of campaigns that you can run, which on TikTok is limited to, I want to say 5 or 6. So for this platform in particular, most folks that are probably using this are probably trying to run either video views or traffic to like a Spotify link or an Apple Music link. A lot of all the TikTok ads are spread across these different 3 things. So you've got reach, which is just, as it says, to sort of maximize the amount of reach that a piece of content has on the platform or the ad. Then you've also got consideration, which is similar to Facebook's version of this, but traffic, which is like sending people to Spotify or Apple Music links, and video views, where you can direct people, like more people, to view your videos on TikTok. And then also app installs for anybody that has an app. Welcome. And then you're also able to do conversions. A lot of times for conversions, I've used that for tickets mainly. So if anybody is doing live shows again, or as they're starting to ramp up, TikTok will probably be a part of the ad planning for a lot of those shows. So that's one that's great to have. And yeah, so for most of these, it's really, like I said, sort of the same setup. The UI is very simple and easy to use. You're able to sort of do like one type of buy and then group everything like you do multiple platforms. But for today's example, I think the use case that we're going to do today is just to send more people to a destination. So we're going to do traffic. And for the traffic, we're going to say, I always like to start these as like an example. So for us, we're going to just do a very like short walkthrough of like how to set it up on Feature FM and then how to market using TikTok. So for us, we're going to talk about, we're going to market a single. So for the single, we'll say that it's coming out in like 30 days. So we'll go from pre-save to post-release, and I'll show you how to set all that stuff up. So for the first part, we're going to say that our artist is Cher, because there's no reason for her not to be on TikTok. And our single is coming out in 30 days. And then I have links that we can use here. We're just going to point to the Spotify playlist for her as our release leading up to it. We'll say that we're going to do a TikTok. I would say let's do a budget of $500. In my experience on TikTok, you can do a lot with a little bit, but we'll just say this for now. Okay, so knowing this is sort of like our parameters, what I would do first is I would go to the Feature FM platform and I would create a short link for this. The difference between a short link, the reason I want to go with a short link rather than a pre-save is because right now the goal is I'm releasing a single in 30 days, but I want to try to generate awareness for this playlist so that we can get people to add it and convert from her massive imaginary TikTok audience. So the idea would be put all of her songs in a Spotify playlist, pin it to her artist page, and then take that Spotify playlist and run ads for it on TikTok, targeting anybody that's using her songs, so that they can then go directly from TikTok to the Spotify playlist, add it, and be delighted. So for this, we're just going to go in here and we're going to create this. For this, I'm just going to use a short link because it's like the easiest thing to use in the world. And we'll make sure that while we're doing this, that we've also got our Facebook pixel and Google pixel in. The reason why I would do that is because anytime anybody's clicking on those links, you're also getting information to those two platforms as well. So you're building up your audience pool. Yay for you. Anytime that you're doing any type of paid advertising, always use a short link. It goes directly to where you want it to go to. There's not a drop-off rate between posting up a landing page and having the user go from the ad to the landing page, have to select a DSP and then go there. So you're all set. So we've got the link in here. We've got social cards, which we're not really going to really be concerned about because this is just created for an ad. And then just making sure that the pixels are installed here. We'll get to Google Tag Manager later so that we can use we'll use a TikTok pixel through Google Tag Manager. So we've got this set up. And then once we have the link, we'll just get it and we'll create a TikTok paid channel. There we go. So the reason I want to use TikTok for this is because I will see, obviously, if I'm running ads using this same link on Facebook or Instagram, which generally I would suggest doing for this so that you have like people going there from Facebook and Instagram as well, or YouTube. You would just want to select the paid channel as TikTok, so that you can have it tracked through there. So we're just going to put that in our little plan right here. So the link to the Spotify playlist. Generally, you can also use just activities. So activities are the ability to add exclamation points at the end of a URL. So if I wanted to just use an exclamation point for an activity rather than a channel, then you could just do exclamation point and then whatever you wanted the acronym to be. I suggest doing activities, and I've said this a few times already in previous webinars. I suggest using those if you're going to do something that involves like a time frame beyond just linking to one project. So if you're doing paid advertising for a pre-save, I would suggest using the name of the platform and then whatever stage it is in the process. So pre-save or post-save, which is after the release, just so you can keep track. Because generally for pre-saves, your link's not going to change from when you put it up as a pre-save to when it comes out as a smart link. So yeah. But for this case, we're just going to use a link directly going to the Spotify playlist with her entire discography, which is what the This Is Share playlist is. And we've got the identifier right here. So now that that's created, I would go into TikTok. And again, let me just mark down the use case for this. So we're directing people to a Spotify playlist with the artist's entire discography. To generate ads to their library as part of the pre-save. And the reason we're not directly promoting the pre-save is because in this case, the artist has 50 years of a catalog that you could also take advantage of, which has her greatest hits. And I won't name them all because if you don't know them, then that's your loss. But that's another way to take advantage of an artist catalog, is to use those entire discography playlists and then do advertising to those as part of a pre-save campaign. And then in terms of the breakdown for her audience, I would just suggest the demographics. So obviously male and female. I don't really think there should be any type of breakdown beyond that. Let's see. So we're going to do traffic. And then for the ad group name, we'll do share TikTok. We'll just do automatic placements for this. We don't really need it to go anywhere, like specifically. You can do manual targeting placements, but you don't have to. Oh, sorry. I think I entered this in wrong, but this is where the link goes. You can also check off having a pixel here. So if you want to create a pixel, you could just select create new. And I always like to make sure that a pixel is installed. So you just go to create pixel. You have to agree to the terms. Call this share. As you can see here, the only way to install a pixel is to manually do it, or to do it by a third-party tool, which would be a Google Tag Manager. So for that, you'd have to actually connect to a Google account. So I can do that here. You can see here, it's just going to ask you to publish this in the container. Oh, this is pretty standard. Allow. And for some reason, this is not want to connect. Let's try this. There we go. Well, apparently Google Tag Manager does not want to work, so we're going to have to do this manually. But this is how you would create the pixel for Google Tag Manager. We'll walk through that in a second. You would just paste this pixel code into the header on your website that you want to go to, or you could download it here and then just copy and paste it. We'll go back to the pixel in a second. This platform is like pretty new still, so there are a few bugs, just a heads up. I've run into some before as well. And then here is where you would put in the ads that you want to run. So for the display name, I would just say shares greatest hits. I like to keep the titles and the display names pretty short. So I always like to keep it, you know, to be exactly what is going to be like advertised. For the profile image, you can upload anything. I always like to think like bright, colorful photos as much as you can pop out a bit more against content normally. So try to find something that's like relevant to what you're trying to promote, especially on Spotify. If you have like a photo of the artist performing, that's great by like the vertical view. That's a solid recommendation. And then I would just upload it here, make sure it looks okay, make sure the display name for the ad is good. For the category, we're going to go to, it depends on what you want to do. There's a bunch of different ones. I would do entertainment and then break it down into video and audio visual. And then whatever tags you want to use. So you can put up to 20 keywords. And then the tags are really how the algorithm like matches to the ads that you're creating on TikTok to your audience. I would suggest picking, 10, I want to say like 10 very specific examples of keywords, and then 10 sort of more generic ones that are trying to fit what you're doing. So all of these tags that you've got should be relevant to what you're trying to market. So in my marketing doc for this, I would actually just go here and just mark down my keywords. So I would do music, video, share, pop, LGBT community. Like I would just try to pick keywords that matched what the artist's music was, what it was trying to promote. Maybe like visuals, costumes, like things that are going to fit the category for the audience that you want to do. And then I would just take those and put them into the keyword manager here. So just do like music, blah, blah, blah. And then all you have to do is just enter them in, separate them by a comma. And you can, once you click out of the box, it'll automatically make them into these little things. You can turn on and off comments if you want. I always like to keep comments on. I think if it's a funny video or a funny idea, it's great for people to be able to see it. I always turn off the download so they can't download the video ads. I would do automated creative optimization. And then after you've toggled that on, you can sort of break down what you want your audience to be. For gender, I always put no limit. For demographics, I like to put in like the artist's biggest countries on Facebook. So in my demographic targeting for this, I already put that I wanted to do male to female. The age range for her audience, I would put over 18 and put like to 65. And then for the top countries, I always limit it to like the top 5, and you have to make sure that those countries are actually available to use the TikTok Ads Manager. So I would do like the United States, Canada, the UK, and add any other countries that you feel like would be relevant for your artist audience. It really depends on sort of what your goal is for the ad and where their audience is mainly. To find out where TikTok's like ads are available, you can just look it up in their FAQ section on the Ads Manager. The FAQ is like right up here in the Help Center. And also the Learning Center is great as well. And they have the lists of all the countries here that are available to use. Okay, so the next one that I would do is if you have any language limits, so if your artist isn't English speaking, and you want to try to reach any of these countries that are available, I would put in that language to target that. Interests, I mean, it's pretty varied. So I would just pick whatever you want the people that are interested in watching the ad. And then the behavior that you want. So what is the goal of the campaign that you're trying to run? Is it trying to get people to go over to Spotify? If that's the case, then you need to make sure that like if you want Spotify to show up, that like you don't select liked, commented, shared as the behavior that you want the video related actions to be. I like watch to end has always been the best one for me. Category. I mean, again, like you just select the category that feels relevant for your artist. And then select a time period to include actions from. So this means like the time frame that you want people to receive it. So I don't know what you want to have for your ad. It depends on how long you're running these for, but 7 days is always the time frame that I select, even though it's the default. And then here's just where you set up your budget. Let's see. And this is just like optimizing the clicks. So that's sort of really it for how to set it up. To put in the URL here, just be mindful that there are a few little bugs on their ads platform. So just watch out for that. And now setting up the pixel. If you want to, this is sort of it, just doing it from the home page. So if you go to Assets, Event Manager, make sure that you have Google Tag Manager set up. So Google Tag Manager is where you can, it's where you can actually do a lot of like website tags and keep track of different types of visits. There's a lot of use cases for it that we don't have enough time for to cover and aren't really relevant to our subject. So we'll just do Feature FM. And to set this up, I'll show you in a second where you can use this. I always select the web by default. You can select whichever of these you want when you create your account. Just make sure that you go through and read all the usage for the data and that you agree. And then you've got your tag manager. So you would put this into the heading page of your website and this into the body page. And then you've got a tag set up now. So what you would do is you would just go back into, hold on 1 second. You would just go back into our TikTok here and then click manage. And you should be able to create a pixel and go through the process. I'll show you right now what that looks like. And you want to click install code by third-party tool. Right now, Google Tag Manager is the only one that is supported. There we go. So you see it'll all automatically collect. And just be wary, like you might have to do it more than once. The platform's a little buggy, especially with setting up Google Tag Manager. So Google Tag Manager account has been successfully linked to TikTok. There's this tool that they have here called TikTok Pixel Helper, which could actually help you see if your pixel has been installed correctly. You can also do that just by going to the actual pixel. So you don't actually have to do anything. Let me get out of this. So you can check right here if it's installed correctly by just downloading it. I don't think that you need to install it correctly. You'll see events start populating here once you have it installed. If you want to use this with Feature FM and Google Tag Manager, after you've set up your account, you would just go into the artist folder. And again, you can do this on the artist folder level. You can do this on the master account level up here in general in default link settings. But you would go here and you would add your GTM code here. For that, this is going to be this code right here. So you would just copy and paste that into your pixel, into your artist folder that you want to use this for, and you're all set to go. You can do the same thing in the default link settings up here. And it's right here. I always suggest putting it at both levels just in case, but you don't have to. You can put it here in the Google Tag Manager. So Google Tag Manager is separate from Google Pixel. Google Pixel is for the Google Ads, where you would like run TrueView and stuff like that. Google Tag Manager is separate. Yeah, so that's sort of how you would connect it. Trying to think if there's anything else we need to go over. So you guys saw an example of what that looks like. There's a few other things that you can do with Feature FM that are pretty cool. You know, if you want to do some TikTok related stuff, like especially if you want to promote an artist TikTok link, you would just go to link. So you could just click into your artist folder and you could click on create a smart link. You could do this for a pre-save too. It's not just relegated to this, but what you can do is you can use the store called Use My Sound, where you can put in the Use My Sound link for an artist. So that can generally be found but like through your distributor, whoever that is, or your record label will give it to you. You can also just Google it. And they're just like web URLs that are links to the songs, so you can see what it looks like. So it's like the actual song up on TikTok, and then all of the content that's been created with like using that song. And then you would just take that link and put it into Use My Sound. And what that does is when you finish creating the smart link and a user clicks on this from a mobile browser, you would be able to have it open up automatically in TikTok on mobile, and it'll take them right to the sounds page on TikTok. Another thing that you can do is with our new bio links, which is like our version of a bio link, you could just add, we've seen a lot of people been using these for Instagram bios or TikTok bios. You could also just add a use my sounds link here. So if you want to have people go to TikTok from Instagram, I don't know why that would be a use case, but if you do, or if you want to have people go from TikTok to Spotify, you can just add the links on your links and actions page. So if I wanted to just create a link to go directly to TikTok, I would just grab my use my sounds. And we see a lot of people using this for like challenges that they're doing for their latest singles. So let's go back. You would just take that link, put it in here, and you could put in use my sounds. Or and then I would change this to be an icon for TikTok. It could be a GIF as well. And then that way it's like the first thing on the very top of your bio links page. I think that's pretty much it. I can take some questions now if anybody has some. Looks like we have some. Someone asked what's the minimum recommended daily, weekly, monthly spend for developing indie acts. That's actually really dependent on what the person, like what the objective for the campaign is. I always think I don't really try to mess with TikTok unless there's like a $250 budget. And that could be like across an entire life cycle of a campaign. But for me, it's been the most effective method for advertising music that I've been testing out lately. Besides VK's platform, which is just for that social network. I think that I would probably recommend a lifetime budget of 250. I don't really believe in daily or weekly or monthly spend minimums. It really depends on the genre, what the goal of the campaign is, how much money does the artist have. And really, if I was going to be honest, I would dump a lot of that money into creative, because a lot of times people will set a big ad budget, but their creative will just be absolutely horrendous. And then they'll wonder, like, why didn't I get enough reach on my campaign? And it's because they had really crappy content. So, yay. Will a recording of this webinar be available? Yes, we always send out recaps of every webinar that we do. What's an average suggested budget for TikTok that you recommend? Like I just said, I don't really have like an average. It really depends on the browser. Like it really depends on the artist and like what the campaign goals are. I would say that like 250 for like a lifetime budget, and then split it up depending on what like the release type is, like a single or an album. I have had really great numbers and success with using this for Spotify. So the way that I would set it up is I would set up my pixel on TikTok, then I would set up the Google Tag Manager integration, put the GTM code into a link or the artist folder or my account master settings, and then I would create my short link for what I'm trying to do. So I would create the Spotify playlist, put that into our short link product, and then use that for the link. So for the budget, I would say like 250, and I would say probably use this for a playlist or a single. If the single's available as a TikTok sound, it's even better. So I would make sure that if you're gonna do a single promotion where you're not like subbing in a playlist, that you're gonna keep it to a song that's also available on TikTok. There's a lot you can do with that. There you go. Hi, can you block countries? The TikTok ads platform is available in like, I honestly don't know how many countries it is at the moment, but it's still fairly new. I don't think that you can block countries. If you select the countries in the targeting, then I guess that could fulfill that need. There will be a video of this sent out, so Sue and Ben, that can help. Let's say you did a campaign of around 250. How much reach would you receive? Bryce, it really depends on the targeting. So those keywords that you select and the categories that you place this in are like super, super important to the reach. I mean, it's like the easiest thing in the world to say that the creative is what is going to push and add success on TikTok as well as the keywords. Um, I mean, like how I mentioned that you should create those keywords is exactly what I would suggest if you want to have a great reach. For 250, I mean, the number is somewhat trivial to like the stuff that you're selecting. You could get a lot of reach with really well selected tags, and you could get really crappy reach with ones that aren't relevant to the content, or the content can be crap. Honestly, there's so many different factors that could affect the reach and the success of the campaign, that like you have to make sure that you have good creative that matches the platform. So like nothing over 15 seconds, make sure it's funny, make sure that it's relevant to what you're trying to get people to click to. Uh, don't insert like a landing page if you're going to market to people on the platform. Make sure that it goes directly to the destination that you're going to. Make sure that you have a pixel in place for the short link so that you can pixel that and use that audience data outside of TikTok. There's just so much that works in conjunction with really well placed targeting to make sure that that reach goes as far as possible. Again, another question is how far would a $1,500 budget go on TikTok? I mean, it would go really far. It could break a song. Again, it goes back to targeting. Guys, it's not the amount of money. I keep getting this question. It's not the amount of money. You need to make sure that your content's great and that it matches the examples on the platform. You need to make sure that the targeting is great, that the tags match, that the countries that you're going to also match countries on your artist analytics platforms that are the most popular countries. You could even look at Spotify listener data or Apple Music data on the back end of the artist platforms to see like what countries are consuming their music the most that are also available to market to on TikTok. Like those are the four main things that you need to like worry about, rather than how far a budget would go to, because you could have the best content in the world and the best of intentions, but if you don't have those four buckets covered, then you're not going to get anything. You might as well just throw your money in a garbage can, because that would be more effective. Have you seen success driving on-platform track use through ads, or is budget better spent towards awareness building? That's a great question. I think that it really depends on the artist and the genre. So for me, I can just sort of answer that in a broad sense of genre. For rock or alternative acts, I haven't seen as much success with driving on platform use through the ads. And on platform use would just mean that somebody's using the sound of the artist in their videos. I've seen more success driving awareness and driving it off traffic to Spotify. I personally don't run ads from TikTok to Apple Music. I really think Apple Music is not that great of a music service, but for some of the users that are on the platform, and Spotify, I've seen like sort of there's a direct correlation with like a well-run ad campaign and an increase in Spotify plays. So for me, I would say for rock and alternative, I've seen better use of driving awareness. For pop, hip hop, electronic, I would say on platform use through ads is fantastic, and you should definitely consider running ads that way rather than just awareness. I hope that answers your question, Corey. Great name. Can you share the share example from the link? Yes, I can, because I will share anything that involves her. 1 second. There you go, Kel. Ben said, sorry, I missed what you said. What was the other platform you said was great for advertising music other than TikTok? VK is great, but I would use it just for Russian fans. And also, I really like Google Ads. The pre-roll on YouTube is fantastic. Daniela, 250 per country, 250 not per country for like the entire campaign. I've never actually broken down an ads campaign before by country in a budget, unless it was for like touring, but I wasn't running them. Any good tools you'd recommend for creating TikTok ads content, something that can create compelling videos without needing a video editor? There's a great app that I use personally called Trash App, and that's not a joke. It's really great for creating short form video content. Um, Also, I just use like Final Cut, or iMovie is even usable too. The app platform is available in all territories. I don't know why that's a question. Um, do you prefer to point Spotify for TikTok ads, or can we try doing the whole link with all DSPs? I don't under like, so for me my prerogative with landing pages is that driving driving people to a landing page and expecting them to click on a link, when you could just sub in a link that's going to take them directly there. um, that's what I would do. You don't want to have the make them make a choice. You're going to see a drop off significantly between driving somebody directly to a platform and driving somebody directly to a landing page and then to a platform. So for TikTok, you are trying to reach people that have the attention span of like 5 seconds. Um, and I would probably just drive directly to Spotify. There's no reason not to, unless you're trying to do a pre-save. But if you're trying to do a pre-save and you're using TikTok to push it, that's not the best platform, because people want to be able, if you're marketing on TikTok, you want to be able to have something actionable, because the platform utilizes music as part of video creation. So nobody's going to pre-save a track that's not available for them to use. Do you have any examples of what you would consider good TikTok ad creatives that you can share to, with a view to getting artists on feature to do this? Would really help to show them creative examples. Yeah, Kelly, we're going to provide that in a FAQ article that we write for these, that we sum these up in. So just look for that email tomorrow from us. What if you are trying to promote a compilation album? Would you still want to include a short link or a landing page? I wouldn't use TikTok to promote a compilation album. I would use a single. Do the ads show sponsored videos to the viewer as they do on Facebook? Yeah, it would be like TikTok's version of that. Anonymous attendee, great name. How do you ensure your target users who have Spotify? Sorry if I missed this. The reason, like, the reason why you would target people who have Spotify and how you could do that, it's a little hard to do on TikTok without having like run any ads, because you don't have any like events or anything like that to use. That's why I said, like, if you do like a direct link to Spotify, like there's no, there's like the free tier that they can go to. You would just have to make sure that your targeting of like the keywords and the demos and things like that you're trying to reach would be somebody who would use Spotify. That's what I would suggest. If you wanted to create an ad for a compilation album, would you want to make a playlist to promote? Yes, I would make it a playlist. So that when the album comes out, you can input the tracks at the top of the playlist. Yes. I would never promote a link to an album. I would just promote a playlist. And you could actually, once the release is out, if it's available on TikTok, you could point to those as well. If you wanted to have people use the songs on TikTok in videos. Can you use auto UTM parameters within TikTok Ads Manager like Facebook does, or would you have to input it manually within the destination URL? That's a great question. You can auto do that. You have to set it up. We'll walk you through how to do that, because it's a little bit more technical than just like inserting it into the actual destination URL. Just look for our FAQ recap on this, Julio, and you should be able to have that answered. I'm going to give a few examples of what type of parameters you can use, and like sort of how you can use those. It's a little bit too granular to cover in a webinar, because it requires a little bit more setup. What is the best route for country music? I mean, it would be the same thing. I mean, Thomas Rhett has done great marketing on TikTok with some of his latest releases, like "Be the Light" that came out like I want to say 2 or 3 months ago. So I mean, for the genre, it really depends on like who's listening to it and what the fans of that artist are. For like country, it depends on which type of artist you're trying to reach. Like, are we talking like Garth Brooks or Thomas Rhett? Um, it's a very different audience to reach between those two, unless you're trying to do some type of challenge. Um, but country music is my favorite genre. So Chris, you and I are new friends now. What have you ever done a video on advertising music with Google Ads? Hi Ben, no we haven't. That's gonna be something that we'll do eventually. This is actually the first advertising video that we've done because we wanted to show off TikTok because honestly I think it's gonna be like the biggest advertising platform in the next few years. Omar Grant Brown, staying consistent. Thank you. That's a lovely compliment. And Ben, we did discuss how to choose keywords. Um, it's in the TikTok marketing, but we'll send out a recap of this so you can watch it. How do you recommend a small company with a roster of 5 artists use the $300 credit TikTok said they would provide? Any insights, feedback on people using that credit? Yes, that is actually how I started using the platform. Was through a free credit that they offer. What I would recommend is allocating, X amount of dollars of that for any new singles that you have coming out and just testing it out. With their platform so far, I haven't found it to be as intuitive as Facebook is with the targeting. The keywords are really sort of for me where it's at and where it sort of changed my perspective on how to better target for their platform. So I started messing around with keywords that, 10 were more generalized and 10 were more specific to the artist's music or artist interests or the fan interests. So that's what I would say. I would say, for that $300 credit, if you have 5 new singles coming out that you want to spend it for, do that. If you have one priority artist that you want to test it out on, I would suggest that. Anything where on TikTok, where if you're trying to drive awareness or get people to listen to something that it's either happening like it's either already available on the platform or it's going to be available in the next few days or something, or it's already available on Spotify. I've seen a lot of times where people have set up ads on TikTok trying to promote to Spotify, and then they get a bunch of plays on Spotify, but on TikTok, it's not like trending because it's not available. So I always like to advise, like, if you're going to do TikTok advertising for promoting a single, make sure it's available on Spotify and make sure it's available on TikTok. And then if you want to just promote a playlist, like obviously it doesn't need to be available as a playlist on TikTok. But yeah. Where would you get this credit from? You could just go onto their website and find it. That's how I found it. Two questions for that. Nick Garstang, nope. Okay, that's cool. I'm gonna say yep. Can you recycle Spotify Canvas creatives for TikTok? I don't see why not, as long as it's sized correctly. That makes perfect sense to me. Julio, as long as it's engaging, I wouldn't just put up something that's like a static art track video or anything like that. Okay, I think that's it for questions. So I think we're gonna stop this now. But thank you everybody for coming, and we'll have this available as a recap video. And you'll be able to sort of send this around. We're going to also put some UTM parameters in there for things that you can do, and then also like suggestions for creatives. If there's anything else, feel free to reach us at community@featurefm.com. And that's it. Hope you all have a good day and stay safe out there.